Fencers ready?
Fencing is a individual combat sport where it's one person pitting against another person.
I like the thrill of it, you know, like it's like physical chess.
Fencing is a sport where two players against each other have to go against each other to get touches, and there are three different weapons. There's epee, foil, and saber. Each weapon has different rules.
The epee has a full body target area, so you can hit anywhere, whereas the saber has only above the waist, and foil has a type of vest where you can only hit there and a part of the mask.
I fence a saber blade. It means that we go faster and we fence harder, and you have to be really agile to do it.
We're foils.
We're both foils.
It means that we're a mix between the aggressive weapon, which is saber, and an epee, which is the more strategic weapon. So we're a mix of strategy. We're a mix of strategy
and speed.
We're like, if saber and epee had a baby, this is our weapon.
Fencing to me is is a way for me to unleash my inner anger on other people that I accumulate over the day and just destroy them.
Fencing is a sport unlike any other where you use blades.
It's a very physical sport, but it's also at the same time it's a very mental sport where if you go into a certain bout with a very negative mindset, you're automatically you might as well just forfeit because you're just not going to win. But if you play that kind of a mind game with the other opponent and really trick them, you could end up doing very well. So it's a very mental type of game rather than just physical with other sports.
Fencing is two people hitting each other with the sword. I fence saber.
My mom did fencing when I was around 5, when I was in Florham Park, and she would go. And it didn't really spark an interest, but she wanted me to try it out in high school, which was I was a sophomore now, so last year, and she was my main influence, and I'm glad I did it.
My friend did it, and she convinced me to do it. She was a senior 3 years ago, and she gave me all her stuff, so I was like, this is an easy sport that I can do.
Fencing is hooked up to electric scoreboards, and so if, say, I slash at you, and you hit my blade and you slash at me, that is your point even if I touch you too. So say it's 2 lights on the scoreboard, it's still your point since it's called a parry. A parry is moving the blade away and riposting is attacking once you parry.
Fencing is a sport for people who can't do actual sports. My friend told me about it, and then it's basically once you join you're in too deep and you can't ever leave. It's like a cult basically.
I joined fencing my freshman year. Me and some of my other friends were doing it, and we all wanted to do a sport together, so we decided to do fencing.
When I fence, I kind of have this burst of energy where it just I feel like I could accomplish anything, and I don't know. I'm typically pretty chill as a person, but as soon as I get into the bout and I hear the timer go off, I just go for it.
Oh, I feel the thrill of kill, man. It is great. When I get the touch and just whip them, there's nothing like it. The ecstasy is on point.
Brian Geiger's the best fencer on the team because he comes to practice and he teaches us and he tells us what to do and he does a very good job with fencing.
Sam Gutman is definitely a very good fencer. He takes his time.
Best fencer, I'm gonna have to say Hunter because he's been fencing for 9 years and that beats anyone else on the team.
A really strong fencer is Hunter Odell.
We know that he really is dedicated to this team and to the sport, and we really respect that he's a very strong fencer.
I've been fencing for 9 years, since 1st grade. my cousin 10 years ago. He's 3 years older than me. I saw him at a tournament in DC, hence the patch on my side here. It's his club. So I just said, Dad, I want a fence. There was this one day in a tournament, SYC tournament, Super Youth Circuit tournament, where once I've broken 3 blades, and I've actually had to borrow one. So that's one of the reasons I carry so many blades in my bags. I carry 5 blades. Best fencer on the team? That's hard to determine. I'd place myself as one, but there's certainly some other good fencers out there, you know. I want to be in the Marine Corps after college. After that, I'll figure out where to go from there.
The best captain is by far Brian Geiger. Captain serious half the time, captain on fleek the other time, all right?
The best captain is obviously Brian Geiger.
Brian's the best. The best captain, I would have to say, is Kayla. Kayla's a really positive person, and she's very encouraging, and she likes to lead, and she's just a good role model in general. She gets good grades. She's part of the National Honor Society. She's just a very good captain, I think a good role model and leader for everybody else.
Well, I have to go with my captain, Kayla, because she's my captain. She's really good. She's been on varsity since I've been fencing. She's been on varsity the whole time, so.
The best captain is Kayla because we're friends and I know her the most, and she's our captain, and she really cares about us.
I say Shauna is the best.
I think we can both agree that our Foil Girls squad captain, Morgan Rogers, is an awesome captain. She's great at teaching technique, but she's also a great person too.
The best and worst captains are shit at the same time.
Urgin tends to make fun of a lot of his fencers.
He's usually cynical.
He's a special kid.
I would say I'm a disappointment in all levels. Fencing's like physical chess. You have to have both physical qualities of like being in good shape, having good flexibility and agility, but also you have to be able to analyze your opponent's actions and sort of react to what they do. Yo, Lucas, take it all off, man. It's a beautiful.
Freshman year, I got to fence one bout on varsity because I wasn't on varsity, but they let me fence one, and I won, and that was a pretty cool story. That was cool.
I got to fence a few varsity bouts, which were pretty interesting. I won both of them. It was a very unique opportunity to fence varsity and have it count for our meets, and it was really cool.
Quality of a good fencer is aggressiveness, bloodlust, talent, physical ability, like physical capabilities, and a burning passion for pain.
Qualities, good sportsmanship. You can have an excellent fencer who has great technique and have been fencing for 15 plus years, but if they're an ass and they don't shake the opponent's hand after the bout, then that doesn't, I wouldn't say that makes a good fencer.
Qualities of a good fencer. Really socially awkward, just smarter than you are athletic.
Qualities? Even though it's more of an individual thing when you're on the strip, it's good to be a good team member, to cheer on the other members of the team. It's also good to not get too cocky, because once you're cocky, if you lose, it's not good. And you just have to be dedicated, practice. Even when it's not season, you should practice at a fencing place. And just being a good teammate and those qualities. I think I'm a good teammate. I cheer on my friends and I practice as much as I can. I obviously don't practice as much as some people on the team.
These classes go, for 2 hours, so for 5 days, that's 10 there. Then I'd go to my fencing club on Mondays and Thursdays for an extra hour and a half, 13. Then on Saturdays, whenever I'm free, I'd go there for 3 hours in the advanced class. So on average, without any meets, maybe 16 hours a week.
I plan on using fencing to get into college.
Planning on using fencing to get into college? I'd probably maybe use fencing to get into a good college.
Maybe. I might do it for fun in college. I don't know if I'm going to ever do it at a professional level.
Yes, I do.
You have to be good to
all right,
do that.
Lucas.
fencing seen as a second-class sport to the school is definitely a little insulting, but I mean, obviously I can't do anything about it, but in my opinion, it's not right. I think every sport, football to fencing, should be treated the same, even though football is, very much more important than fencing in terms of their opinions. But what can I do?
When getting kicked out of the gym by the whole basketball team, I was kind of upset because, it was just a big waste of time. We were out in the lobby for 2 hours. The only reason I got practice that day is because I went to my fencing club, and matter of fact, I'm going after this for an extra hour and a half.
I'm not surprised that fencing is considered a second-class sport by the school because the school has no respect for actual talent.
I think fencers work as hard as any other sports player. I mean, I obviously can't speak in my own personal opinion because I haven't done any other sports, but I gotta say, what I see the varsity players do is very impressive, and they work hard.
Is fencing a sport? I would say yes, it is a sport. It requires a lot of time and dedication and physical ability. I mean, you're in a squatted position for 3 minutes straight without break, and you have to keep your wrist up and moving the entire time.
Fencing is a sport. I'm tired of people saying that it's not a sport because you have to be athletic. We run in the beginning. So if you total up how much we run every single day, 5 days a week, we have to run at least 4 or 5 miles. Come on. We run so much, we run so fast. And we lunge and our legs, they get really muscular. My right leg is way fatter than my left leg because we're really muscular. And it is a freaking sport. You have to be athletic to fence. If you're not athletic, get out. Honestly, we're way more athletic than any other sport because you have to be on point. You can't be tired. If you come to fencing and you're tired, you're gonna lose a finger. It's happened before. You get bruises no other sports. You come out, football, but most other sports you don't come out with bruises and blood, and it's really stressful. You have to be on top of things.
I think fencing is a new sport comparatively. We've had a football team since the 60s and stuff, and other sports teams have been around for such a long time. Fencing has only been around for about 7 years, I believe. And we haven't brought a lot of success to the school because we have such a underdeveloped program, I feel like. And I feel like over time, eventually, it may be able to be classified as a first priority sport. But at the moment, I don't feel as though the past administration really knew so much about it. And I think that the new athletic director is really positive about fencing, and he's a really good guy in general. And I think that fencing is going to be seen in a brighter light.
I would appreciate if people actually came to fencing meets, but I understand if they don't because they're very boring and no one understands what the hell is happening.
I think we should be treated equally to the basketball team or any other team at the school. I just think that they don't really look at fencing as an important sport, but it's pretty competitive. We work hard, just as hard as other people. We have a preseason week. We have 2-hour practices every night. I think that we deserve just as much as the other teams, and we're not treated that way.
I really like coming to practice and having everyone be so close, the team's really close, and I feel like everyone who comes here really cares, and if you don't care, then they soon figure out that this is not a sport that you can't care, and then they quit. I guess my dislikes is that it's every day and it's at a really awkward time because it's at 5:30 to 7:30 every single day. So if you eat dinner before 5:30, then what? That's the weirdest time ever. But then when you come home, you eat at 7:30. You get home at 8:15, and then you're just you're hungry again because you just burned off whatever you ate. So if you eat before, then you have to eat afterwards. So I guess the major inconvenience for me is eating dinner.
The thing I like the most about fencing is probably the people who don't take it seriously, and then the thing I dislike is all the.
Things I could get on my pet peeves are broken blades, Once I've broken 3 blades, and I've actually had to borrow one.
I like fencing because it's intense. You have a lot of bottled up adrenaline, and it's really exciting. I hate fencing because the only person you can blame is yourself. The thing about team sports is that, this player missed a goal, or this player didn't make the catch, where fencing, everything was your fault.
Well, I like how I've met a lot of new people that are in all different grade levels. So I've made a lot of new friends, and I like that I'm learning a new sport. Dislike, well, since it's a sport, the practice schedule and meet schedule and competition schedule can be pretty heavy. So we practice 5 times a week, every day, and then we'll have meets sometimes during the week or on the weekend. So it can be hard to manage everything sometimes.
And I like the idea that in fencing you don't have to rely on your team 100% because you could also rely on yourself and see how you can improve personally. And I've also met a lot of really great people on the team, but I don't like how fencing is considered a second-class sport by the administration.
I really like fencing because just like the bonds you make with your friends, and it's giving me a break from school being here.
Creatures of my dreams raise up and dance with me. Now and forever, I'm
I like the thrill of it, you know, like, it's like physical chess, because you have to plan your movements out. It's just not all like football, where you just like, oh, bum rush it to an end zone, or wrestling, where, oh, I'm going to take this guy down, you know.
A lot of my friends were fencing and they said it was really cool. It's a really chill sport, and I knew a lot of people on the team. It seemed like a really good team, and I ended up really liking it.
We're going to do a couple more personal questions. Why are you smiling?
Just go.
We're just trying to find out fencer profiles.
Yeah.
So, what do you do for a living?
I'm a student. I study at RHS, Randolph High School, the best school ever.
You know? But what's your current living situation?
It's pretty good, you know. I live at home with my mom and dad and brother. My inspiration is FDR. I read an autobiography on him, and I gotta say he's probably one of the greatest person in the history of American in American history, because he had the courage and the opportunity to bring our country out of probably the greatest depression, hence the name, of this country's history, and he did a very good job.
So I gotta do a follow-up then on the FDR thing. Japanese internment camps. What happened? He did that.
Yeah, he did.
Why aren't you getting B-roll?
I've got so much rolls.
You don't think I understand. We have 10 minutes.
What? Wait, 10 minutes? Oh.
Hey, yeah. Can you get more B-roll?
Yeah.
I like the feature interview.
What should I film?
Just people fencing.
I filmed so much of that.
So, when did you first know biking was your passion?
Biking? Well, I mean, just recently, a few seconds ago, I found out biking was my passion, so biking's pretty cool. You know, I like riding on my bike to 7-Eleven when I come meet my amigos.
So follow up to that. What is your Jesus Christ? What is your fondest biking memory?
My fondest biking memory is probably when I went down Rickland Drive and went to see my favorite little boy, Jake Wachanski. Am I like the feature interview?
No.
Oh. Hey, you want to fence with us tomorrow? You want to put up some?
You give me a weapon.
Weapon, there
as
you
you
go.
would call it.
Yeah. Say sword, you're doing push-ups.
Fair enough. The guy talking to you, see the head guy?
The short guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's just Saber.
See, I was gonna say short, but then you have to go ahead and
Yeah, he's
based off of height.
pretty short.
Kinda
There's
rude.
two short coaches.
The young short guy.
Father, son.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah. Father, son. The older one's Foyle, the younger one's Saber. Surprised it wasn't anything about my family except that those two.
You have to understand, it's about literally your family. The subheading is Cafaro Familia, and we're only asking you and Dan Cafaro about your living situation, current job, and then biking.
I don't understand the biking thing though. Why is under Cafaro Familia?
So we're only asking two. Yeah, go ahead.
Jaime, where do we keep the extra socks?
I didn't mention Chris in my answer.
Oh my god, how is batteries? Not fully charged.